In this video, we will be applying the different sketch tools that we learned in previous videos, as well as going over a couple new ones to make a honeycomb coaster project. Start by creating a sketch on the bottom plane. Create a circle with a diameter of 75 millimeters. Create another circle with a diameter of 85 millimeters. Finish the sketch, and now we can extrude. Now that we have two different circles and two different profiles, we can just extrude the outer edge. Extrude this 5 millimeters. We are going to create a second sketch on that same plane. From here, we are going to use a new tool called Project. Project allows us to include the geometry in our own plane from different objects. Right now, there are no profiles of this ring because it is not projected. Go ahead and press P to open up the project menu. From here, we can now tap on our object and press OK. It will now slice our object and include it into our sketch. Now, we could have created a second circle with a diameter of 75 millimeters to achieve a similar result. However, if we project it, any updates made to the original sketch will be updated in this sketch. From here, press S to open up the search menu. This tool allows us to type into the sketch shortcut menu and find the different sketch tools that we can use. Type inscribed polygon. Select the inscribed polygon option. Tap on the origin and pull out your cursor so you can see the polygon. Make sure the amount of sides indicated on the right is 6-sided, so it's a hexagon. Press Tab and select the distance to be 5 millimeters. Press Enter. From here, we are going to now create the objects needed for our rectangular pattern. Create a line and make sure it is a construction line. Tap on the origin and hover over the top edge of the line. You may see this little triangle pop up. This means that that line will intersect on the center point of the second line. Do the same thing for the adjacent line. Deselect the construction line type. From here, we can see that our hexagon is able to rotate, but we want it to be perfectly flat. Go ahead and go to the top of the screen where you see the horizontal/vertical constraint. This allows us to either snap a line to be horizontal or vertical, depending on which way it's more like. Tap this on the top line to make it horizontal. We can now see that our entire sketch has become black instead of light blue. This means that we are fully constrained, and now we can no longer rotate our sketch. From here, go to the Create tab. Find the rectangular pattern. Double-click on the outer rim of the hexagon we just made to select it all as our sketch objects. Click on the Directions option and click on the two lines that we just created. This will allow us to create a pattern following these lines, which is needed to make our honeycomb shape. From here, change the direction from one direction to symmetric for both options. Make sure the distribution is changed from extent to spacing. From here, set the distance for each one of these to be 11 millimeters. This will set 11 millimeters to be the center point distance from each hexagon. Now, we just have to change the amount of hexagons on our design until it overlaps the inner edge. You can use the handles close to the center point, or you can just type in a different quantity that you want. By dragging the handles, we can create additional hexagons. Make sure to do it for both sides so it overlaps. Once that is completed, press OK. Now, finish the sketch. Press E to open up the Extrude menu and tap on the boundary created by the hexagons. This will select the profile that is made in between the hexagons. Change the extent type from distance to object. The to object option allows us to tap the upper edge of the coaster. It will now extrude up our bodies to that coaster. Make sure the operation type is join, so it will merge the two objects. Press OK. We can now see the pattern that we've created. We now want to add a chamfered beveled edge to the edge of our coaster. Press S and then type in chamfer. Now we can tap the top outer edge and the bottom outer edge. From here, we can drag the slider until we get an ideal edge. I'm going to type in 1.5. Press OK. Once Fusion loads, we will see that we now have a nice beveled edge on the outer edge of our coaster. From here, we're going to want to change the appearance of our design to be something different from the steel. Fusion's default texture is steel. Press A to open the appearance library. Make sure you have ABS saved in your design. To find it, you can type in ABS in the material library and drag it into your design. Once it's dragged into your design, you can now drag this onto any one of the objects in your project. Drag it over onto the honeycomb and let go. This will change the object appearance from the satin steel to now ABS, which is default white. ABS is a good texture that we can use because it's nice and matte, but now we can go in and change the colors if we want. Click Edit on the material, and you can then change it to whatever color you want by clicking through the different libraries or the different color options. Press Done and then Close. Now make sure to save your design. If you have not saved your design yet, you can go to the top left corner and click on Save. If you've already saved your design, it'll just ask you if you want to add a version description. If you haven't saved it yet, a dialog will appear asking what you want to name it. That's it for today's video. Make sure to apply these different skills on different projects. Try to create another coaster with different shapes for the pattern, such as triangles or rectangles.